If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new album in the description. Okay, so Future is about to drop a new album. He's been teasing at this for the past couple of weeks, and today we also got some news from himself about the release date, and he basically, announced it. And so today I wanted to go over everything that we know about this new album with y'all so far, including all the tweets he's made, including all the information we have on it so far, in terms of features, in terms of singles and stuff like that, and then obviously also getting into that release date. So let's jump straight into this. So Future is coming off of, some important work on, for example, Donda 2 that was executive produced by him. Him and Kanye were pretty close around then, so that was already something that, made him stand out again. But that was not concerning his solo record. So I want to go, start with April 8th. That is the first day that I think we're going to, we got some interesting tweets from him, and go through it chronologically, and then also end with obviously the big news, because that's what y'all are here for. So let's start on April 8th. He took to Twitter to say, "Some special if Ed Weezy put a beat around these FKA Twigs vocals." So this confirms that Weezy is going to produce on this new record, which was pretty much confirmed because the two are really close. But that also confirms that FKA Twigs is going to be featured on this record, and I think that's amazing. I think the two of them have worked together in the past already. They've worked on, for example, that Holy Terrain single from FKA Twigs album that I thought Future did amazing on, so I like that combination. Let's move on. On April 8th, the same day, we also got a tweet from him that read, "Who would you like for me to collab with on my upcoming album?" So again, teasing that there is an upcoming album coming, which is obviously very interesting. Then, people gave their best guesses as to who was going to be on this record. He then later on that day also confirmed that Babyface Ray was going to be on the album, so apparently he's trying to catch that new wave as well. Then he also confirmed that Ye is going to be on this album, which only makes sense. As I said, Future played a big role in the rollout and the production of Donda 2, so that Kanye is on this Future record only, makes sense. But I'm excited to hear what that sounds like. Maybe Kanye is now bringing his little touch to Future's album. That would be amazing. He then also announced that he would be announcing the album title and the release date very soon. So confirming that this album is going to drop very soon. If he's announcing the title and the release date, that means it's dropping within like the next 2 months at least, you know what I'm saying? He also tweeted, "When the album drop, ain't no being humble, the biggest." So he's really confident about this new record, but obviously that's what rappers gotta do. When you look at his Instagram, the last couple of posts have been around his single that he released, "Worst Day," which was him talking about his spending addiction for, females on Valentine's Day, which I thought was a funny, even though like on the surface level funny, but I think there's something deeper to it that a Future actually has to deal with. Talking about Valentine's Day is the worst day if you're rich, because you got to spoil everybody. I like that single quite a bit. I like the sound he was going for, that more mellow Future sound. That is where I like to see him the most. So I was really happy with that single. That's also likely going to be on this new record since it already made some waves also with the music video. But then he also, dropped these pictures of him in like the Kanye boots. Kind of looks like a Donda listening party and stuff like that. So he dropped all these, pictures of him in this outfit and in this location. And in one of them, this is the important one that y'all probably already seen, but in the picture that got released about a day ago, he said, "Date April 29th to be announced." So this is saying that, the album is coming. The album is coming on April 29th, which is in exactly 2 weeks, which is not that far ahead into the future. And more information will still be announced, as he said earlier as well. The album title, for example, or the cover art or track list or anything like that. Future's last full-length studio LP was High Off Life in 2020. To me, it was kind of disappointing, even though it had some highlights in there. Definitely kind of like a hate-love relationship with that album, but I was excited before that came out. I thought maybe he could, kind of elevate a little bit on that record, but didn't really fully commit on that, but I still liked it. And then we also had that Lil Uzi collab tape that I just didn't like at all. I felt like that was just a little rushed and everybody was just trying to imitate the other person and stuff like that. So I don't like that record as much, but I'm always excited for a new Future record. I think Future can step up with every record as well. And I think he's at a point in his career right now where he wants to, leave something behind, leave, some legacy. That's why he's also been working on getting, for example, the Monster album on streaming services, which he's recently done, I think last year. So I think also just judging from interviews, he's in a more like introspective state in his career where he's like, yo, how can I make something that's going to last a little bit longer than just the next couple of weeks and trends, which obviously, a lot of Future's music is just high output quantity and volume, kind of just, hoping that one of the records that he does sticks and becomes a hit. That's kind of the formula he's working on. One of the first ones to pioneer that as well. Artists like Migos then adapted that and perfected it even more. The Future is obviously still the trap goat when it comes to, that high output volume and just putting out several mixtapes and albums a year, which he has slowed down on. That's something that we also got to point out. He's definitely slowed down on his output over the last 4 to 5 years. So maybe that's also a good sign that hints towards him working on something bigger, working on something more artful, creative. Maybe those features from FKA Twigs, for example, could also point towards that, to have a more conceptual track on there. But I know that I'm always the guy that's I want artists to elevate on every other record and just evolve creatively and artistically. It could just be another Future record with some bangers on there, just with a playlist type of track list, and that will be fine too. That's the Future that we all fell in love with, and that's the Future that probably provides the best Future quote unquote music. So that would also be completely fine with me. I'm just excited that we are about to get a new Future record. As I said, it's not that long until we're getting it. If he's, dropping it on the 29th, so in 2 weeks, likely we'll get the title within the next couple of days. And if that does happen, I'll be sure to keep y'all updated. So make sure you're subscribed if you always want to stay up to date with this new Future record. There are not a lot of possible names floating out around there as I've, seen so far. So really not leaked so far. And then likely we'll also get the track list and more singles over the next couple of days and the next week especially, and the week that it releases in as well. Hopefully Future can prove me wrong off just his last couple of pieces in his discography, especially that Uzi tape as well, kind of elevate from that, to do something more unique and that isn't just rushed and all that. But I'm still very hyped for this, very hyped for Future. So new Future album dropping on the 29th, so in 2 weeks. We got a couple of tweets as well that we went over that tease at this album, that tease possible features on there, and that tease at this, him working on something bigger than just a new mixtape. So I'm really hyped for this. Obviously, all of my opinions in here were just my own. Now I want to know what you think about this. Are you excited for this new Future record? What do you think about the release date? When do you think we'll get the cover, a new single, the track list, all of that? What did you think about the Worst Day single? What do you think about all the tweets that I went over, going over the possible features and stuff like that? Just all about this album that you think about. Please let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.